when he said that government was keen to deal with this case in all seriousness so that names which are once exposed are sufficiently investigated, and you are not doing it just for the sake of exposing and for a momentary thrill that you may get out of this exposure, and ultimately nothing comes out of it. So I think government had their own logic. Now that the Honorable Apex Court has come out and it is going to be done under their own supervision, I think it's a good thing to happen, because whatever
what about the promise? People keep asking about the promise, sir. The black money would have been returned. The promise that the campaign trail had made, sir. Mr. Vyas, very quickly, Mr. Vyas, because we have other guests also. What about the promise the BJP government, now the BJP government, then aspiring government, had made the problem?
Let us agree with the fact. Let us agree with the fact that compared to the earlier governments which dilly-dallied with the SIT order of 2011 and went as late as March 2014 for recall of that order, the government of the day set up the SIT and has started getting into this business with the real earnest.
No, question marks on what the SIT was also doing. Mr. Vyas, just 1 second.
100 days or
Mr. Vyas, if you allow me.
These are not the issues which can be dealt with in such a kind of a time limit.
If you allow me, Mr. Vyas.
We started the initiative proceedings and we shall deal with it
firmly. Okay, let me come in at this point and questions about what the SIT had done or has done for the past 120 days. Why didn't the Supreme Court ask for those details earlier? Kiran Bedi joins us right now. We'll go across to in just a moment. But Jaiveer Shergill of the Congress party has a quick point to make. Come in here. Jaiveer, your party has been constantly criticizing the BJP government, saying that it is selective and there is no transparency. Now the government has had to submit a report to the Supreme Court because the Supreme Court demanded it. Do you think that they've done anything differently from what the UPA government has done?
Rejection of BJP's non-committal stand and their hide-and-seek approach. I've been hearing your points and your question that what is the way forward. The bigger question is, after the Supreme Court observation and after the transference of the complete case to the SIT, does BJP has any leeway, space or power to fulfill their promise? Because today the government has practically taken all the reins in their hand. I've been hearing the BJP spokesperson, the leaders repeating we are committed to bring back the black money. The bigger question is how and when, because Supreme Court has already expressed their complete loss of faith that they will, and that is why they said now please hand over everything to us, we will do. So where does BJP stand now as far as this entire issue is concerned? I'm a bit confused. Number 3, as Mr. Venkatesh said regarding the contradiction, the real issue is other. The Supreme Court would have never asked for the names to be handed over to the SIT if they had already handed over the names to the SIT. So somebody is bluffing. And please note, Supreme Court said only the chairman and the vice chairman can open the envelope.
Right, that's true.
Now, applied retrospectively, if that means the order already stands flouted because the BJP handed over the entire list to the SIT. And their spokespersons are privy apparently to the list which the Supreme Court itself refused to open.
Okay, Jaiveer, very quickly.
So today, what power do they have to deal with this entire issue in...
very quickly, let me get Kiran Bedi in, get her comments on what has happened today. Yeah, let's ask her.
To go forward.
Let's ask her. Ms. Bedi, how do you view this? What has happened today? Now, 627 names are with the SIT, with the Supreme Court appointed SIT, and critics of the government say they bungled it up again, but there is some hope because, like Mr. Venkatesh says, it's a matter of minutes to, to sift through those particular 627 names and figure out which ones of these are legal accounts and which one aren't. It shouldn't take far or more time from here on end.
I have 2 things to say. One is there is a very large message in this whole process. All that is happening, there's a larger message. A very big nexus is being questioned, which existed, which was a cozy relationship between business, corruption in business, corruption in politics, and also powerful bureaucrats. That nexus seems to have been weakened. I would see this weakened over the years because there's a message that you no more can.
Ms. Bedi, there is some breaking news coming in. I'll have to stop you and I apologize for that.
Number 2 is, I'm a little surprised.
I'll have to stop you because there is some breaking news coming in. Ms. Bedi, stay with us. We'll come right back to you. Breaking news just coming in. Subramaniam Swamy says that he is dismayed by the handling of the blacklist issue. He has written to the Prime Minister. Kartikeya Sharma with some exclusive details coming in. Kartikeya Sharma, what has Swami exactly said? He's not happy. All right, we will get to Kartikeya in just a moment, but this is breaking news just coming in right now. Subramaniam Swami has written to the Prime Minister Narendra Modi saying that he is dismayed by the handling of the entire blacklist and black money issue. And remember, Subramaniam Swami, one of the biggest proponents of making that particular list public the moment the government had it. He has written to the Prime Minister and said that he is dismayed by the handling of the entire blacklist issue.
Yes, yes.
Now let's go back to Kartikeya Sharma, who joined us right now. Kartikeya Sharma, Swami has shot off a letter to the Prime Minister.
Yes, we have the copy. We have the copy of the letter written by Subramaniam Swami to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and this is the copy. And the surprising part is, he says that we are very sorry. We are all very sorry for the unnecessary and avoidable disappointment of party supporters and general public regarding the handling of black money issue in the Supreme Court. So he's put his own party in the dock, government in dock. He says the first error committed by the government in court was to cite double taxation avoidance agreement by bilateral treaty with government as an obstacle to disclosure of names having illegal foreign banks account. So he has actually spoken against the position taken by Finance Ministry and AG of the Government of India as to what they deposed in the honorable courts, and they said this is not the way you should have approached the courts. And he goes on to say that review the reason why exchange earners foreign currency account authorized by RBI has been bypassed, leading to black money accumulated mostly in tax havens. But the operative line of this letter, and again let me read this out to you, is we are all very sorry for the unnecessary and avoidable disappointment of party supporters and general public regarding the handling of black money issue in the Supreme Court. Very, very embarrassing. Subramaniam Swami writing to the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and openly criticizing the way this case has been handled in the court.
Right. Kartikeya, many thanks for those details. We have time for one more question from Ms. Kiran Bedi, who I interrupted earlier. Ms. Kiran Bedi, Subramaniam Swami sharp criticism for the way the government has really handled it. He's written to the Prime Minister saying that perhaps the blacklist issue was bungled by the government. How do you react to when senior BJP functionaries are saying this?
The question which I was asking is, which I as a citizen want to know, is how strengthened is the SIT? What kind of resources does the SIT have? Why is it asking for resources now? Why wasn't it given enough resources? Secondly, why did it not ask earlier? And third, why haven't they made known the progress time to time being made by the SIT? Because we are dependent on the SIT completely. I think, don't we need to look at whether SIT needs to be strengthened? Do we know how much manpower SIT has? Because if you're going to investigate hundreds, first of all, one very simple question which can be asked is, out of how many of these accounts did last year these people declare to the income tax authorities in India that they have a foreign account? Because if they've hidden that information, it's a straight away an offense under the Income Tax Act.
There is a paucity of time. We'll have to stop you there, but many thanks for sharing your views.
That doesn't need too long to verify. So we can know by the end of the next month.
All right, we have no more time, but before wrapping up, Venkatesh, it's a matter of minutes, you said, sifting through who's legal and who's not. Should it take so much time?
Absolutely, but understand one thing. The SIT comprises of the raw officers, the raw director, CBI, IB, DRI, CBDT, ED, all the topmost people. Individually, all these institutions and the officers have been failure. We want to collectivize them under the SIT and say they will be a success. Will they be a success?
Do you see black money coming back anytime soon?
Well, I don't see that, at least with this present government. But as far as these 627 accounts are concerned, I have my faith with the Supreme Court, with the Supreme Court monitored agencies.
Let's hope.
But one last thing, it is, as you said, it is a matter of minutes. They can segregate this list of 627 and find out which are the legal accounts.
Well, the SIT has 30 days. It has 30 days now.
Make them public.
It has 30 days to submit a final report to the Supreme Court, and that's when we'll talk about black money again, because this is a very short deadline. We have no more time right now. We'll hand you over to our editor-in-chief, who has some big news coming in Air India, of course, in the target of a whistleblower. Rahul, to you now.